set up some new like parking rules, but it's like they haven't set like the form to begin. They're voting for yo, money can really expensive too. I don't know if that I feel like it's important. Yeah. Yeah. The line too, you know. We told her that 11:45.
Alrighty, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We're just getting started. Today's session is that which pertains to pronouns and pertains to pointing. Yeah, this is going to be miscellaneous lessons that are late because these are a discussion of numerous types of murakkabat. Before we continue onwards with yesterday's discussion, it's pertinent that we understand where this fits into the whole paradigm of Arabic. So just so that we can review yesterday's discussion a little bit, I wanted to ask you guys to describe to me the breakdown that we did yesterday from words to sentences. We did the breakdown of words first, and who can remind me what it is we even call words in Arabic? Kalimat, very good. And kalimat, we said, can be divided into one of three categories. Kalimat. And what are those three categories? Isms, fi'l, and very good, mashallah. We talked about the breakdown of kalimat. Those kalimat, when put together, can form sentences, and they can form something lesser than sentences. Let's talk about what happens when you use them to form sentences. What do we call sentences in Arabic? What'd you say? Ayat are verses. Ayat are signs. But in the grammar, in the discussion of grammar, you said they're called jumla. A jumla. And jumla, we said, can be broken down into how many types of jumlas? Two. There's more, but right now we're dealing with two. So the two that we're describing are al-jumlatul ismiya and al-jumlatul fi'liya. What is al-jumlatul ismiya? It's any jumla that begins with an and ism. Good. And al-jumlatul ismiya has how many parts? It has two parts. What are the two parts, Malik? Very good. Al-mubtada wal-khabar. Good. Now it's very important that if you don't know this information, that you have it written down so that as I ask these questions, you look at the question, you look at the answer rather, and when you rephrase the answer back to me, it'll begin to stick in your mind. So we learned that al-jumlatul ismiya is broken into two parts, which are al-mubtada and al-khabar. Can someone tell me what the rules of al-mubtada and al-khabar are? What are the requirements for something to be a mubtada and for something to be a khabar? We talked about just one requirement so far. Wait, what's what? Mubtada should be definite.
And the khabar is indefinite.
The khabar should be indefinite. What does definite and indefinite even
So
mean?
it's specific and non-specific.
So how do we show something definite?
So
Not tanween.
Oh no, it has
It's al. For good. So a word that is prefixed with al is what type of noun? A definite noun. Good. Like for example, al-Quran. Very good. What are some other types of definite nouns in Arabic that don't have al? Names. Like what? Malik. Very good. Zaydun. Right? So even though Zaydun ends in tanween, we still consider it, and it doesn't happen to be prefixed by al, we still consider it to be definite. Good. Because it's referring to a specific Zayd, not just a random human being, it's referring to a specific human being. What are some other types of definite words?
Could be like the house.
That's al.
Okay, right.
What other... هذا ذلك. What are they called, Safi? Ism al-Ishara, or the mushar, the thing that you're using to point. And Ism al-Ishara, like هذا, by default, this is considered to be definite. Why?
It refers to a specific.
Because when someone is indicating, they're indicating to a specific thing. They're not pointing in a random direction and pointing at nothing. They're pointing at something. That something is definite. Very good. So can هذا be a mubtada?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Now we talked about a khabar. A khabar should be indefinite. Well, how do you show something is indefinite? That's tanween. Now, these are approximate rules. These are not definitively true. This is the standard rule. Standard rules can always be broken. Just like a standard rule is that you're supposed to drive at 40 miles per hour, right? But that can be broken legally in certain circumstances, right? If the police is chasing someone, he doesn't have to follow the rule, right? If somebody is evading an enemy, they don't have to follow the rule. They're being pursued by a rage driver. Yeah, in emergency, they won't let you make it. But if you're being pursued, somebody's trying to kill you, sure, right? So standard rules are the same way. They're applicable in 98% of circumstances, but they're not always true. Anyhow, there's one more thing I wanted to mention that I failed to mention yesterday. And that is, there's one more type of word that's definite, even though it doesn't have al in the beginning. Okay? And what is that? That is mudaf. Not the word mudaf, but the mudaf itself. If you guys remember the rules of mudaf, what were the rules of making a mudaf and mudaf ilayh? There are 4 steps. Yeah, step 3 was what? Remove the al from what? That means the mudaf used to have an al. But we just remove it so that you know that it's a mudaf. So mudaf, by definition, is definite. And if you think about it, what is mudaf? What does that mean? The possessed object, right? So that something that's possessed obviously has a possessor.
It has to be a specific thing that's being owned.
Exactly, because you don't own random things. You don't own things that you don't know, right? Unless you're a hoarder. You don't know what you own. But normally people, what they own is known. So if I say Kitabu Hamidin, is that a random book or a specific book? How do you know? Yeah, right? It's distinguished from every other book on planet Earth by the fact that it is in the hands of Hamid. Make sense? So mudaf by default is what? By default is definite. Okay, and there are other things that are by default definite too. Right now we're going to stick to these. So a mubtada, it should start with alif lam, or it should be a proper noun like Yusuf or Khalid or Malik, or a mubtada should be an Ism al-Ishara. What's an Ism al-Ishara? Pointing. Like for example, هذا ذلك هذه تلك أولئك هؤلاء ذلك ذلك هذان هاتان. Those are all by default definite as well. So that's the discussion of mubtada and khabar. Then we talked about the fact that the other type of sentence is what? Al-Jumlatul Fi'aliyah. Al-Jumlatul Fi'aliyah usually has a
3 parts, fa'il,
a fi'al, a fa'il, and it doesn't have to have a maf'ul, but it can. Some verbs require objects, some verbs don't require objects. Like if I said qama, qama means what?
He
Stood up. So if I say qama Zaydun, what does that mean? Zayd stood up. Does the sentence make sense without an object?
yes.
It does. So you don't need an object for qama. Similarly, if I say, jalasa Yusuf sat down. Or if I say to you, nama Ammarun, Ammar went to sleep. All of these things don't require objects. So al-Jumlatul Fi'aliyah usually, which we'll break this rule later, usually has a fi'al. What's a fi'al? A verb. And usually has a A doer, i.e. in Arabic, what do we call that? Al-fa'il. Good. And sometimes has a maf'ul. And sometimes has many other parts too. But normally it has a fa'il and fa'il. Alright, then between kalimat and between jumla, there was a third category that we learned about. What was that third category? Al-murakkabat. The murakkabat. What are murakkabat? They're phrases. Are they sentences? No. Are they individual words? No. There's a combination of words. Right? It's not a singular word, but it's a combination of multiple words. So, al-murakkabat. We talked about two types of murakkabat so far. What were the two types of murakkabat we have learned thus far in our class? Idafi, al-murakkab al-idafi, and al-murakkab al-ishari. Ishari. Now, al-murakkab al-idafi is a complicated way of saying what? Mudaf and mudaf ilayh. Do we need a refresher on how these work, or are you guys good?
I like to see it.
Yeah,
You like to see it. Okay, good.
Let's do Malik's part.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Madik. That takes a lot of effort to say when nobody else wants it. So sign of a good student actually is that you're willing to know your teacher. So, al-murakkab al-idafi, or the ownership phrase. The ownership phrase in Arabic is a phrase that shows that something belongs to something, or something belongs to someone. And the way that we make it, I want you guys to remind me, how do I make one?
You flip it.
First, you remove the.
You take your English phrase. Take your English phrase. Step one was to flip the order until it is that
Of statement.
it becomes an of statement, such as Madik's car would become
The car of Malik.
the car of Madik. Very good. So that was stage one. Moving to the second step, what did we do?
Translated literally.
We translate both of those words. So the car of Madik, how do I say the car in Arabic? As-sayyaratu, not al-karu. As-sayyaratu. You know, in Spanish they say el carro. That's what they say. Even though that's not the original word from Spanish. But they took the al from Arabic and they just started throwing it on English words. The Arabs do that too now. You know, they say, imsakt al-wheel. I took the wheel. Imsakt al-wheel. Well, you know, they'll say, give it gas. They'll just say, push the gas. You know, they'll say gas. They'll say something like that. So, as-sayyaratu. How do we say Malik in Arabic? Mali kun. Very good. That was step two. Step three was to do what?
Remove the L from the mudaf.
Remove the al from the mudaf. So, therefore, as-sayyaratu would become sayyaratu. And step four was to do what to the mudaf ilayh? To give it the jar state. How do we give it the jar state? We put kasratain. We turn the two dhammas into two kasras. Therefore, we get sayyaratu malikan. Okay. Any questions? All right. We spoke about al-murakkab al-ishari. Al-murakkab al-ishari was a type of phrase that is used for what purpose?
Pointing.
Okay. It's used for indicating or pointing something out. And we started with the basic of all of the murakkab al-isharis. We started with the basics. The basics are the word hada and the word dhalika. Hada and dhalika are different from one another because hada is used to point at a masculine singular object that is nearby. And dhalika is used to point at a masculine singular object that is far away. So hada means what? This. And dhalika means what? There you go. The female version of hada is hadihi. Remember the females right here, hadihi. And the female version of dhalika is tilka. The singulars are important. Alright? This is what you'll see the most in the Arabic language. Hada, hadihi, dhalika, and tilka. The rest are very good to know. Alright? But you have to master the basics. And from that you can build upon the original. Now, how do we make a phrase that we call al-murakkab al-ishari? How do we make one? Remember, there are two parts. Anyone remember the name of the two parts in al-murakkab al-ishari?
المشار
Al-musharu and
المشار إليه.
al-musharu ilay. What was al-musharu?
A word used to point to somewhere.
Yeah, whatever you're using to indicate towards something, like the pointing word itself, the Ism al-Ishara itself. I.e., one of these many words. هذا, this, ذلك, that. That is your musharu. Al-musharu ilay is what? The second part is what?
Whatever is being pointed to.
Whatever is being pointed at. So, for example, rajul or ar-rajul. The thing is that you can say both of those phrases. I can say هذا رجل. This is grammatically correct, as well as هذا رجل. Both of these collections of words in the Arabic language are correct. When I say correct, I mean that they give some meaning, and they're also spelled correctly, and the i'rab and harakat are correct, but they mean different things. How do they mean differently?
This is the man. One is specific.
This is
Amen.
Amen.
This is the man. So one is specific. This man.
the second of these
Is an incomplete sentence.
is an incomplete sentence. How do we know it's an incomplete sentence? Because this word is what?
Definite.
Definite. And what was the condition of a khabar?
It has to have a definite and an indefinite.
Yes, a khabar must be
Indefinite.
indefinite. So therefore, this is not a complete sentence. So the way we translate this is
This man.
this man. Make sense? Now, at the same time, in the Arabic language, we'll learn later that sometimes the khabar can be definite. There are many examples of that in the Quran as well, but I don't wish to confuse you right now. I just want to distinguish between two different types of phrases or collections of almost identical words that mean very different things. Similarly, if I said هذا مسجد, would that be a sentence or no?
Yes.
هذا مسجد, it would be a sentence. This is the masjid. If I say هذا المسجد,
لا.
that wouldn't be a sentence. That would mean what?
This masjid.
This masjid. If I say ذلك الكلب, what am I saying?
It's that.
That dog.
That dog. How about if I say ذلك كلب?
This is a dog.
That is a dog. We have a complete sentence. So we've looked at this basic distinguishment between how we create a sentence versus how we create this. What do we call this right here? Al-murakkabul ishari. This is a pointing phrase. It's not a complete sentence. Tamam?
So are pointing phrases like that ever used? Like,
This one?
yeah. Well, like in the Quran or anything?
Yeah, like remember we said ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ? Right, there are many.
So
right.
it doesn't have to be a full sentence in order.
For example, I read in Surah Al-Maghrib, الَّذِينَ يَقُولُونَ رَبَّنَا أَخْرِجْنَا مِنْهَا هَذِهِ الْقَرْيَةِ هَذِهِ الْقَرْيَةِ. What would هَذِهِ الْقَرْيَةِ mean?
That.
هذه
This.
This man.
I don't. Man, is that what it is?
قرية is village. So هذه القرية means what? This village. Right, so we see it in the Quran all the time. It's a good thing to look at. Alright, we're going to move on. And what we're going to be learning now is a third type of murakkab. And these quick exposures to murakkabs are not designed to give you mastery over the subject. But once you've learned to acclimate yourself to identifying them, then the rules are more easy to be able to solidify in your brain. Today's murakkab discussion is called, before we begin, Ali had a question regarding these. We wanted to know the meanings behind these. Right, so hada is this. What's the dual of hada in English?
These two.
These. Yeah, so we'd say these two. And then how would that would be these?
These. Many.
Hadihi would mean this.
Those? No, those would be.
No, those is hard. Hatani is these two. And then how would that mean these?
Many feminine.
Them boys.
Them boys.
You can. It could be, for example, جلست مع هؤلاء. I sat with.
I sat with them.
No, we wouldn't say them.
Okay.
Them would be home. 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 Yeah. So this is always going to be translated as these, because it's a pointing phrase.
So would home be used for nearby or for this or for far?
I will explain that. That's actually going to be coming up soon. Dhalika means what? That. Dhanika means
That.
Those two.
those two. Ulaika means those.
Those.
Tilka means that. Those two. Ulaika means those. Meaning those three plus. Right? Really, memorizing the English is not important. What's important is to understand how they're used. If they're used for singular, dual, plural, masculine, or feminine, because then you'll figure out the meaning yourself. Alright. If that's the last of our discussions of murakkabat for now, after which we're going to be talking about pronouns. Okay, pronouns are a little bit difficult. You think they're easy, but they have a lot of uses in Arabic that are very interesting. You can save a lot of time and shave a lot of effort when you learn how to use pronouns. Today's discussion is going to be about al-murakkab. What is al-murakkab again?
Composition.
The phrase, the composition.
Yeah, composition of phrase. Al-murakkab. Tawsifi. Tawsifi. What is Tawsifi? Al-Murakkab al-Tawsifi is a phrase wherein which there is a description. It's used to describe things. So we call it the descriptive phrase. What does that mean? These are two sets of English words. They seem to be giving similar information. Which one of these do you think is al-Murakkab al-Tawsifi? The second one?
The tall man.
Why do you think so? It's not a sentence. It's an incomplete sentence. Although it seems to be that they're both giving similar information. The man is tall. You're telling me something about the man and you're telling me about his height. Doesn't it seem like I'm describing his height to you? Yes or no? When I say the man is tall, it seems like I'm describing the man, right? It seems like if I'm describing it, should be called a descriptive phrase. Except it's not a phrase. This is just a sentence that has a description of the man. We don't care about sentences right now because we're learning about what? Al-Murakkab. An incomplete sentence.
And I'm guessing it's sentence because it's specific.
What's specific?
The man is tall.
So this is specific too, no?
Tall. Yeah.
What's specific? I'm not talking about someone random. I'm talking about someone specific. I could say a tall man. That wouldn't be specific. But I could say the tall man too in Arabic. And this is what we're concerned about learning right now. Okay? We're concerned about learning how to make an incomplete sentence, which is a phrase, which describes something. And to do that in the Arabic language, we have a couple of steps. Just like we do with mudaf and mudaf ilayh. In al-Murakkab al-Tawsifi, we have the same exact thing. What do we have to do? First thing we have to understand is al-Murakkab al-Tawsifi is also, yes.
Tawsifi is masculine, that's why the Murakkab was in the tab.
This is masculine.
Skip me over.
Murakkab is masculine. I think you're just confused because earlier we called them al-murakkabat.
Right.
That's the plural. And the plural is feminine. And the singular is masculine. That doesn't make any sense. I'll explain that later. In Arabic, all things plural are female except for humans. Okay? Yes. Humans are the only things that when they're plural, they maintain their original gender. In Arabic, all non-humans, when they're pluralized, they're always feminine. So even al-kitab is masculine. Al-kutub is feminine. Books. So how would I know that? You would know that because I just told you the rule. If you see a plural word and it's not human, you just assume it's female. You understand?
Mostly all words are
You just have to know, is that a plural or singular? That makes sense? So imagine if I say to you, al-masajid. Masjid is masculine,
Yeah.
but al-masajid, masajid is plural.
Yeah.
So it must be therefore
Feminine.
interesting rule. We'll talk about that later.
So it's like a rule for like knowledge instead of grammar.
Yeah, the grammar won't show you. It's just knowing that this is a plural word. So in reality, this goes back to sarf. Because when you learn sarf, you learn just looking at a word, whether it's singular or plural. You can just figure that out by looking at it. Anyhow, al-murakkab al-tawsifi in the Arabic language, the phrase which shows the description of something, something's being described, is made up of two parts. What do you think those two parts are? You don't have to know their names, but try to figure it out.
Tawsifi.
You don't have to tell me.
Something like that.
You don't have to tell me the Arabic.
So
But
there's
what
a
two
description,
parts?
there's a description.
There's a description, and what else is there?
There's something being described.
There you go. Very easy, right? So we have al-mawsuf,
There you go.
al-mawsuf, which means the described. You're close. It's not mawsuf meaning.
Also be
No.
something be.
It's a sifa.
I don't know how it's close.
You can also say al-wasf, but no one says that. So we just say as-sifa. So al-mawsuf was sifa. What do you think the sifa is, guys?
The thing being described. So the descriptor.
The description.
Oh, sifa.
Trees.
Yeah.
The trait, right? What'd you say?
Trees, right?
Yeah, the trait itself. That's the description, right? A trait and description are the same thing, in effect. So let's look at how we make a descriptive phrase in the Arabic language. First and foremost, there's something that you have to understand that distinguishes Arabic from English, and that is that English happens to come from a whole family of languages, okay? The family of the languages that English comes from, they have like a mother language, okay? It's called Proto-Indo-European, okay? Even above that, even above Latin, German, all of those go back to Proto-Indo-European. And Arabic comes from a different family of languages that they call Proto-Semitic, right? So the Proto-Semitic languages, what are in those? You have English, you have Hebrew, you have I didn't say English today. I meant Arabic, Hebrew, Aramaic, and all those Semitic languages. These two families are very different. In fact, if you don't know, Proto-Indo-European, Indo means India. It means like even Desi languages are closer to English in their grammar than Arabic.
You didn't like look like Arabic?
They do look like Arabic, and they're written in Arabic, but the grammar is actually more, akin to like a language like English than it is Arabic. Why is that? Like
Colonization?
it's just no, it was way before that. This is thousands of years ago. We're talking about like prior to many of the prophets that are in the Quran. These languages existed, right? Farsi existed before.
Could be easier for one to learn Indian.
If you know English, it's not easy language. But why is this important? Because the way that people describe things in different languages differs. Example, in English, I want to say about a man, a scary, tall, skinny man. Is this a phrase or sentence? What do you guys think? Sentence or phrase? This is a phrase, not a sentence. There's no predicate here. Okay? In Arabic, the way we would say this is a man. See the difference?
Oh, a man comes first.
Yes. So what comes first, the mawsuf or the sifa?
The mawsuf.
In Arabic, the mawsuf always comes first. That's a rule. In English, what comes first? The adjective, the sifa, right? That's an important thing to note. So when we are trying to translate English into Arabic, we can't do it word by word. We have to first find what? The mawsuf. Then we can start writing the sifat after. Make sense? Okay. That's one thing. One of the reasons, what are some benefits to speaking in the way the Arabs speak? Because we're not just trying to learn Arabic, we're also trying to understand why this language is unique. Right? Allah could have written the Quran in English like this, but He chose the language that talks like this. It gets to the point real quick. It gets to the point. Right? For example, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, guide us to the straight path, what do you think the description in this sentence is? Where's the description? Straight path. What's the description? The description is the straight. In Arabic, how would this be said?
The straight path guide.
No. Guide us to the
Path straight.
guide us to the path straight. Yeah, so the path straight. So ihdina sirat. Sirat comes first. In English, we read the translation, it says guide us to the straight path. And old school translations of the Quran, a lot of people, what they tried doing is they tried translating the Quran, but they tried mimicking the order of words as they are in Arabic in order to emphasize what Allah emphasized. Guide us to the path that is straight. That's what they would say. Guide us to the path, comma, straight. Some might translate it like that. You might have seen that in like really old school Quranic How Pickball?
Is it? I think maybe.
Yeah, there are some old school ones that write. If you've ever wondered why they're so weird, it's because they're not trying to write how English is written. They're trying to write the Quran how Arabic is written, but using English words. So it gets to the point. Imagine a Bedouin in the desert who's shouting out to someone so far away. They need to talk about what's important. He's saying, where's the well that's full of water? Right? In English, he would say, where's the replenished well? The guy that's hearing him needs to hear the most important part of the sentence, which is the mawsuf. What are you even talking about? Right? If he hears the important part, then he can fill in the blanks of what the sifa is. But if all you hear is the sifa, you don't hear the mawsuf, are you going to be able to benefit from that sentence or phrase? You don't, right? And this happens on the phone sometimes. It's like somebody's panicking. I just saw crazy, and you don't hear the last part of it. Right? It's like, what'd you hear? What'd you see? Is it an animal? Is it a person? Is it a movie? It makes a big difference. So you should get to the point first. And then give the description later. That's secondary. You have to first talk about what you're describing. That's one reason in Arabic we see some degree of superiority in describing things. Another thing is that in Arabic, we'll see that there are less words that are used when describing something. For example, in English I would say, I saw a scary and tall man. I saw a scary and tall man. In Arabic you would say, I saw man, tall, scary. Less words. There's no and. in Arabic in descriptions. In English, you have to put and after the second comma, right after the Oxford comma. In English, you have to have more words. In Arabic, you don't. So let's talk about the mawsuf and sifa. The mawsuf in Arabic is very easy. Whatever you're describing is called your mawsuf. So let's look at a couple of examples. I can say al-masjidu. I can talk about al-jamalu. What's al-jamalu? Anyone know what jamal is?
No, it's a
Jamal is camel.
What'd you say?
I said mountain.
Mountain, that's jabal.
Jabal.
Jamal is camel, I could say. Al-fakihatu.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know, but the fruits.
Oh, Hawaii.
Right? Yeah, you're right.
Al-fakiha is the singular of fawakih, so it means the fruit. I could say, I'm gonna do 6 real quick. Ummun. What's ummun? Mother. Number 5 is gonna be al-hadiqa.
Isn't that the West Garden?
Al-hadiqatu.
Skip 6.
My bad. And then number 6 is gonna be yad.
What is it?
Yad. Yadun. Hand. Hand. Now in all of these examples, these are all nouns, they're all asma, they're all isms. Therefore, they can all be mawsufs. Because imagine a mawsuf has to be an ism. You can't really describe anything else. You have to describe a thing. You can't describe something that's happening right now.
So I have a question.
Yes.
So like, what if, so like, hand. What if that was like his face looks like a hand?
But that's not a descriptive phrase, it's a sentence. Right? So we'll talk about that. And we'll see how we can make that type of sentence, inshallah, in the future. But in this phrase, or not in this phrase, but in all of these examples, we have mawsufs. These are all mawsufs. We need a sifa. In order to bring a sifa afterwards, why would I bring a sifa afterwards?
Because it always has to be first.
What comes first?
Mawsuf.
The mawsuf comes after. Or the mawsuf comes first, correct. The sifa has 4 basic rules. 3 of those are actually really important. 1 of them not so much. Okay? There's no rules for the mawsuf. Mawsuf is an ism, and it comes first. The sifa comes second. Obviously, that's not one of the rules that I'm giving you. If the mawsuf comes first, you call that a rule, then the second rule would be sifa comes second. Like, that's just redundant. We don't have to make all of these arbitrary rules, and then in your head you're like, oh, they have 50 rules. So it's obvious, right? So sifa has 4 basic principles. Number 1, you have to understand that a sifa copies. It copies the mawsuf.
That's number 1.
No, that's not number 1. The sifa copies the mawsuf. It copies it in 4 ways. It mimics it in 4 ways. Okay? What 4 ways does a sifa mimic the mawsuf? It mimics it in its gender. So, if I say the big masjid, how would I say that in Arabic? No, the big masjid. Al-Masjidu Kabirun?
No.
Kabirun. Let's take that for a second. Al-Masjidu Kabirun. I hear Al-Masjidu, that sounds definite.
Kabiru.
And I hear kabirun and it sounds what?
Indefinite.
So that whole thing sounds like a what?
Sentence.
That means the masjid is big. But what am I trying to say?
The big masjid.
So how do we do that? We have to copy, the sifa copies the mawsuf in its gender. It copies it in its number. Don't worry about this one yet. It copies it in its definiteness or indefiniteness.
Oh, really?
So like the state.
Oh, so it'd be like a
I
double.
mentioned it.
Kabiru.
So it'd be a double definite or a double.
Yeah, it would either be a double definite or a double indefinite. So, I wouldn't say al-masjidu kabirun because these two are not the sifa is not copying the mawsuf in the fact that the mawsuf here is definite. How is the mawsuf definite? As al. So what does that mean the sifa should have? So how would I say the big masjid? Al-masjidul kabiru. Makes sense? Nadik? And it also has to copy it in something else. And that is in its state. Meaning, what three states, guys?
Rafa, Nasab, and Jar.
Very good. Very good. So, if I say fil masjidi, if I say in the big masjid, how would I say that?
Masjidil Kabiri.
Good. Fil masjidil
Kabiri.
kabiri. Why?
Because
Fit masjid is in what state?
the job state.
So al kabir has to be in the.
Job state.
You guys understand? So a mawsuf is always copied by the sifa in these four things. And of course, it's always very loosely. There's one scenario where it doesn't. And it's in the Quran as well. And it's in the ayat that I read in Surah An-Nisa tonight. The exception. Anyone who can find it, think about it. It was in the ayat that I recited in Surah Al-Maghrib. The exception. But what's important to understand is that when I say gender, it has to copy it in gender. How do I know what to do? Basically, let's look at the sifa in this phrase, the big masjid. Al-masjidul kabiru. Al-kabiru, does it end in ta marbuta?
No.
It doesn't. When would it end in ta marbuta?
It was plural.
If what was plural? Okay, good. So I would say al-masajidul kabiratu. The big masjids. Why would masajid be female?
Because if it's not a human, it's female.
If it's not a human and it is
Human plural.
plural. Okay, yeah, don't forget that. Because there's a lot of non-human male things. Alright. Similarly, if we look at the second example here after masjid. Al-Jamal. Al-Jamal. The camel. Does that look male or female to you?
Masculine.
It's masculine. Okay. How would I say the tall camel? Al-Jamal al-Tawil. Very good. Al-Jamal al-Tawil. Let's look at the number three. Al-Fakihatu, which means the fruit. I want to say delicious.
Zaki.
Zaki means delicious, yes.
Yeah,
I
Zaki.
don't know if that's even proper words.
We'll use this one for now. Ladidun means delicious. So I want to say the delicious fruit. What would I say? Al-Fakihatul Ladidatu. As you can see, we give alif lam to Ladidatu because we want to match the definiteness of which word? Al-Fakihatu. We also give it a ta marbuta because we're trying to copy the gender of the mawsuf. Good, mashallah. Number four, what does it mean?
Mothers.
Not mothers,
Mother.
mother. A mother. Is that definite or indefinite?
No, definitely.
It's definite?
I think it's indefinite.
No, it's indefinite.
It's indefinite.
It's indefinite. It's not a specific mom.
Yeah, it just means a mom. Good, so it means a mom. A mom. I want to say a merciful mother. Say it again. Ummu. Ummun. Rahimun. Rahimatu.
Ton. It's ton.
Remember, ummun is indefinite. So how do I make Rahima indefinite as well? I'll give it a tanween at the end. So I'll say Ummun Rahimatun. Make sense?
Would Rahima make sense to
What?
Rahima?
Rahima? Yeah, if you give sukoon to everything, but you don't know what the last haraka is then. That's correct. If you know Nahu and you say Rahima, I don't mind.
Yeah.
But with students, I mind. Even I don't give harakas at the ends of all words when I speak. That doesn't mean that I don't know the i'rab that should be there. You have to know it. Alright, Ummun Rahimatun, a merciful mother. Al-Hadiqatu. Al-Hadiqatu means the garden. We want to talk about the fact that this garden is green. Very good. So al-hadiqatu, and the word for green normally is what? Is akhdar. However, guess what the problem with akhdar is? No, it doesn't start with al. So what's wrong with that?
Are you supposed to put N?
Okay, so we're trying to put al here. Would that be correct? No, this is wrong because what?
Masculine.
This is masculine. How do we make this word feminine? It's not with Tamar. It's a different word for colors.
Really? Oh, wait, there's feminine colors?
There's feminine colors. So we'd say al khadra.
What colors are colors?
Khabra?
Khadra.
So you move the alif to the end?
Yeah, you move the alif to the end.
See, I didn't know what it means.
But you know the word khadra. That's because you intuitively have learned Nahu. MashaAllah. That's the best way to learn it. Right? Some things your intuition says that akhdaratu, it just sounds wrong. It has to be khadra.
Yeah, Khabra.
That's the best way to learn Arabic. Alhamdulillah. And if you have kids, mashallah, you should speak to them Fusha. They'll learn it that way too.
So all letters are like that? They have male and female? Colors, sorry.
Yeah, all colors are on this pattern too. So like blue is azraq. What's the female of azraq?
Azra'u.
No, not azra'u. Zarqa'u.
Oh, wow.
Zar, like khadra, zarqa.
No.
What's red?
Ahmar.
The female would be
Oh.
hamra. Like you ever heard of the Al-Hamra Palace?
Yeah.
Where's Al-Hamra?
I don't know where it is.
It's in Spain. It's in Spain, in Muslim Andalusia. That's why Muslim tourists go to Spain. They want to see the Alhambra. They call it the Alhambra, but it's Alhamra, the female version of Ahmar, because it was red. Yeah. No. Yeah, the Alif and Hamza do make it female. Yeah. The Alif followed by a Hamza, all words like that are always female. Don't worry about that. All right. Don't like overburden yourself with trying to figure it out.
No, because I know like it had the match, so I'm like, all right.
Yeah. So all of them have that pattern, and that pattern is always female. Okay. So like example, how would I say black? But female.
So
Not sawad.
How about
So that
Yeah, Zahra. Zahri is not like. It would be Zahriya. It would be
I
Zahriya.
think so.
Yeah, because it doesn't have the original like pattern of colors like aswad. You don't say azhar, right? So khadra, sauda. How do we say white? What would be the female of it? Bayda. It's in the Quran. Ladhatil lisharibin. Right? So on and so forth. So we would say al-hadiqatul khadra'u. Because we have to make it female, it has to be in the rafa'at say, just like this is in the rafa'at say. It has to be definite, just like this is definite. And then lastly, yadun. Yadun means what, everyone? Hand. However, would I say?
The fat hand.
I would say, for example, a hand that is extensive, like generous. Let's say generous. Yeah. So, what's the word for generous in Arabic? Kareem. Kareem. That's one of them. So, how would I say a generous hand? Yadun karimun.
Is it feminine for hand? I think it's hand's feminine, no?
Hand is feminine.
Oh yeah. Wait, I
I
forgot.
just remember being.
It's because it's an object. No, but it's attached to it.
I know hands are used for cooking, and usually it does the cooking.
But it's not plural. It's not plural.
Amir has some good, mashallah, explanations. Here's what it is. In the Arabic language, whenever it is that you're talking about any body part of the human being, if that body part appears in pairs, those are always female. And if that body part appears as singulars, it's always masculine.
I feel like there's always a reason.
Yeah. Why did they do that? I don't know.
But at least there's a rule.
Yeah, there's a rule. So, lips must be what?
Feminine, because there's
Feminine. Yes. But your nose is masculine. But your nostrils are feminine. And your eyes are?
How about fingers?
And your fingers are?
It's not plural.
They're masculine.
What about? I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah. Asabi would be feminine. Yeah. Yes, usborn. Yeah.
Down here.
All right. So how would I say a generous hand? Yadun karimatun. Okay. All right. We're gonna tie this all together and start to put these descriptive phrases and al-murakkab al-idafi and al-murakkab al-ishari in sentences together. Okay, all three. So let's see if y'all can figure this out. Okay? I want you guys to write the problems down that we do so that you always have something to reference when you're right and wrong. Oh. Yeah.
Oh, God. 8 is great. 8 sentences?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot.
It's okay. We can continue them as homework. Okay?
Wait. Garden. Sat.
You can make this as a jumla ismiya or a jumla fi'aliyah. The choice is yours. You can bring the verb first, you can bring the ism first. It's up to you. Again, if you need help with vocabulary of any of the English words, you tell me. Qa'ada is fine for sa. Also, we can say jalasa.
New is jadid.
Jadid. Yes, new is jadid.
Chair, kursi.
Go to see. Yeah. Go to see with the shaddat. Yeah.
I feel like chair is asking them.
No, it's not feminine. Go to see yon. All right. Anyone got the answer to this?
I'm close.
I think I'm close. And then sat is jealous, right?
Jalasa.
Jalasa?
Yeah, jalasa is sa.
I'm trying to tell me no past tense.
I think so.
You sure? Tell me what you got. Close, very close. Shamraid.
خالد جلس في كرسي جديد.
Nope. Think about it.
خالد
You're both
Oh,
close.
I got it now. Okay, I got it now.
خالد
I'm
جلس
99. I'm almost 100% sure.
كرسي.
No?
Is it
You're
feet?
close, very close.
I got it now.
You're very close.
Am I messing up the heart?
كرسي
Yes.
Yeah.
So why you before you said kursi, the harf jar.
Yeah.
Okay. Otherwise, you got it correct. For those that have finished with the first one, I'm gonna give you the second one, inshallah.
So which one comes first?
Oh yeah, because it's judge thing.
Oh, because we're just
So Jadida?
So new chair, so chair will come first. Yep.
All right. For those that did number one,
Oh, so.
you guys have to do number two.
That'd be So it's خالد جلس في كرسي جديد.
Kursiyin jadidan.
Yeah.
Very good.
Because of the feet.
Yes, that's correct.
Is this solid then police? There's.
Yeah. Cool stuff. Yeah.
Okay, number two. What did you get? What? Both of those are correct, but there's something else wrong.
I'm not going first,
Doesn't matter. You can make it into smear.
right?
That's correct. But one you have. You have to put it.
Okay. And that would be for both of the words, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Thank you.
Yeah, get us.
This would be first, right? Yes. Because that is
Why would we should do that?
Yeah.
I made the last one.
What should be on the yeah? If you don't know, it's all right. You can just ask.
It's not the subject.
I'm sorry.
It's not the subject.
Yeah. Why? Because there's a feed word, right?
No,
Yeah,
think about like the parts of a sentence.
You said jalasha. It's jalasa.
Oh, you're right. No, what is
Jalasa? It's B has a ya.
Okay, for
you're right,
mute.
you're right.
What is the
And then kursi is with the cap.
right?
Oh, it's with a cap.
What in the sentence?
Again, now look. Kursiyin, I don't know why you wrote a noon there. We just put two kasras to get that noon sound. Remember?
Okay, you're right.
Yeah.
Ismail, what's that second word?
So I'm trying to figure
New?
out-
War. Oh, labisa.
Labisa?
Yeah. Amar is a shirt?
No, I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet.
He didn't put how to hit.
No, but Amar is a shirt.
So I can't do Burmese next.
No, yeah, is this his name? Ismia?
No,
It's not, then why did you put Amar first?
no, it is a
So after you have your subject, your predicate's gonna start with the verb. What did Ammar do?
I thought we were doing the Mawsuf first.
It comes before the sifa, but it doesn't come before everything.
Okay.
So
So it would be Lebi.
Yeah, both
Both have to
have
be mansub
They
in
close.
the nasab.
So it would be
Because remember they're objects?
Yeah.
Because they're both objects, right? They're both maf'ul. Yeah, Labisa, you have Labisa. Good. How's it going, Art? Labisa, Ammarun, Qamisun, Nalifin.
I think so.
Okay, let's look at the first one. Jalasa. Is that Khalid? Khalid.
So it would be Qamis right now, right?
He sat in, right?
Yeah, but it would have to be shirt first, right?
Yeah,
Qamis is shirt, right?
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
but shirt
how do you
goes
say
first
in?
time?
Yeah.
Or you're describing the shirt.
I thought he's like sitting on.
Yeah, ala, you can, but in Arabic,
Like supposed to know.
yeah,
Ew,
no, in Arabic that's right. Yeah, you can say ala. Just go ala. That's fine. Ala kursiyin jadid.
Is it free like freaking English or is it Allah?
Ala.
Yes,
Ala.
It's a harf, right? Allah.
Ala kursiyin jadid.
Is that Mughis?
Because this word has kasras, the ala is kasras, the next word, this is the thing we describe, right? Yes, and that makes this the description. What do we call it? Sifa has to remember, what is it have to copy? What else? There's four things. Do you remember what those four things are? Harak, you got, that's why you gotta take notes.
Say it again?
I did take notes.
Go find them. Go find them.
It's just
Say one time.
you can watch like process, you know.
Yeah,
like,
I think so. That's weird. I think
Yeah?
that's right.
It's in the Quran, right? All right, number 4 is going to be.
Chef. Copy the state, right?
Which one is it?
Copy the state. That's like one of the. That's one of the.
Yeah. It has to copy the state. So how would you show me that in your example?
So the tanween like that, right?
Yeah, kasras.
Right?
Sure.
Kasra?
Yeah, because look, you said fi kursiyin, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of jadid, we would have to put 2 kasras as well.
Below that.
Yes.
Just think about it.
The tanween. Yeah.
Because it has to match. Yeah, because it has to match, right?
Yes. That's right.
We stopped at a woman and thought we had to eat some.
Is it Ism? Wait, what state is it in? Yeah, what state is it in? Left, right, and also or in jump? It's not in jump. It's not in jump. I'll give you that. That's correct. So which one is it? Left, right, or
Give me that one more.
That's it.
Left right is left side.
No, bro.
Left, right is down. Okay, left, right, and also is okay. So it's
Narrow green.
also yes.
Cafe.
So you were saying you had the right idea, but you're saying the wrong word.
Yeah,
Wait, it's
so
in
it's
Nasab?
in
I think
The action is done, right? Or
yeah.
Coffee.
Yes. Okay.
No, kafan is not coffin. Kafan is the cloth that you wrap the deceased.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh.
Which one?
Like, yep,
It's
is narrow and then papa.
What is it?
How about
Yeah. What state is it in?
for women we do more?
So default state.
And we're gonna stop right here, inshallah, for today.
That's right. That's well, it has to match. Yes, exactly.
How do we say wealthy in Arabic? Money.
So, okay, explain it. And is it definitive or no? Indefinite. No. So it has the maf'ul has to be the other. Also, yeah. And so also you have just an elephant here. Right here? Yeah. Right here? I think you can connect it. Just give us something. My hands is done. That's literally everywhere.
It should be easy, yeah. Because it isn't a learner.
Yeah, but it's in.
Anyone want to give it a hand?
I don't want to monopolize the end, you know, but
I think I got
monopolize it.
it. I think I got it.
You got to tell me when.
المرأة الغنية في قبل ضيق.
That's right. I'm going to look at the rest of your answers, inshallah, in our next session.
Okay.
And this lesson is bound to be with us forever. Because this is one of the most common types of constructions throughout the Arabic language, inshallah. I'm going to stop here.